Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Reviews from the Clubhouse, as always brought to you by Clubhouse Films, hosted by myself, Chance McDuffie, and
Logan Solana.
Well, we're excited. Watched a really good movie
Oh my
that
gosh,
we're going to review
so good.
later on. But how have you been, apart from being cold? I haven't seen you in like a week.
I know, it's been a while.
It's crazy, yeah.
Been good. How about yourself?
No, I've been not too shabby, you know.
Yeah?
Got some work coming up and
Yeah.
just work, really just work.
You're getting ready to film something too.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I have
know,
rehearsal
I'm
tomorrow.
excited.
I have
Oh, do you really?
hour and a half drive.
Where's that again?
Athens.
Athens. Okay.
Yeah. Athens, Ohio.
You gotta let me know how it goes.
I'm excited, man. I get to wear some fake blood. I get to shoot this guy with a shotgun.
That's cool.
Yeah, I get to
Yeah,
blow
you
his
gotta talk to me about
chest open.
all their stuff, all their
I'm
gear.
excited to
behind the
see how
scenes
that's
stuff.
going to look.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
That'd be cool.
We're going to have a makeup person, which scares me.
You're gonna have a makeup person that scares you? What do you
Yeah,
mean?
because like...
they're scary or
No, like just with makeup.
Oh,
it's
okay.
really... I don't know. Like everything that I've done that I have to wear makeup,
Mm-hmm.
they never find... Like I'm either too light or too dark.
So, like, the biggest problem that any makeup artist has is, like, I have no clue why, but, like, they always say that doing makeup for, like, people of color is the hardest thing.
That's what I heard too.
And, like, lighting, like, Indian
lighting
people or black people or anything, so hard.
That's why when I did that play, a friend of mine who works in, like... I went to high school with, and he's got, like, a theater degree, and he works with various theaters here in Columbus. And when he went to see the show...
Lost in time.
He was pissed. He's like, they don't know how to light black people. And I was like, okay, but how was the show? Yeah, did you enjoy it?
We can get into that later,
yeah.
but how did you like the show?
But anyway, enough rambling. We got some news to get through. Just
yeah.
just some trailers.
Some good ones.
I'm gonna start off with the big one, the Avengers Endgame trailer that came out like a week ago,
gosh.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, we haven't talked about this at
Oh
all.
man, listen, it hits you like just from the get go. It hits you right in the feels. You see Tony in the sand. It's in black and white, like and how they like the flashbacks. I like how they differentiate the flashbacks with new footage. Like the flashbacks are all in black and white.
Yeah.
They accent the red.
Mm-hmm.
And
So why are they accenting the red?
I have no idea. I don't know why. It has something to do with
Marvel is red,
I don't know.
or the Reality Stone, or I have no clue. I'm really curious.
I've heard both of those things, like because Marvel's color is red. I mean, and then the Reality Stone is red.
Is red, right?
I honestly have no idea.
I don't know.
Like I was talking with friends last night, and we were just going over various different theories that are out there, and blah blah blah. We talked for like an hour. And I was just like, some of these theories are good, some of them are bad. And I'm just like, what's so exciting about this? No matter what, at the end of the conversation that you have when you're speculating about this movie, no one knows.
No, you have no.
You have
clue.
no
Yeah.
idea, and like that excites
I'm
me,
so
man.
excited.
I don't think I don't think I've gone into a movie that I'm like a big blockbuster movie like this without knowing anything about it in years.
Right.
Like in a long time.
Yeah.
It's exciting, man.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
not knowing and just kind of going, and this is the end, and
Oh,
it's fun, man.
that's sad.
It takes me back, like all those black and white shots of like Cap when he was super skinny.
Right.
I was like, man, like I was just thinking about how long ago that was. I was like, I've been invested in this franchise for so long.
Do you think he's gonna die?
I don't know, man, because when Civil War came out, everybody's like, Captain America's
He's
gonna
gonna
die.
die, right? Because he
Didn't
does in the
die.
comics.
When Infinity War came out, everybody's like, Captain America's gonna die. He didn't die. This,
I think he's gonna die.
I don't know, though. I don't know if Marvel will bench Captain America because
I sure hope so. It would just be such a cool curveball.
I don't think they will, though. He's too...
You're right. They might not.
I don't think so.
Because we all thought, like, that Infinity War, he was going to die.
But, I mean, I know. Like in Infinity War, when Thanos stabs Iron Man, I was like...
Oh, he's done.
Yeah, I was like, nah, he's
dead.
good. I was like, he's okay. And then he started spitting up blood,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, fuck.
Fuck.
Yeah,
This is it.
he's gonna die. I was kind of numb. I was
So,
like,
you
they're
know,
gonna kill Iron Man like this?
there's a cool little theory. This is the only really theory we'll get into, but, like, they're saying, dun 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 dun, Iron Man dies in
Yeah,
the
in
first
space.
10 minutes.
And then they go get his clone from the
Right,
or his younger self.
And that's why that, like, we see the flashbacks. But that would make sense for Iron Man. but it would not make sense.
I don't
for
think
all
so.
the others.
I think the only reason these people are latching onto these flashbacks like they mean something narratively. It doesn't. I feel like the only reason those flashbacks are there because it's in game and it's like, look at where we've been and look at where we are now.
Right.
Because literally in the trailers we see everyone in their origins
Right.
where they were and then where they are now.
And the Russo brothers are only allowed to show 6 to 8 minutes of
so
footage.
you know how they like send the footage to people that make the trailers? Apparently they only sent them 8 minutes of footage.
They said that the studio's like, you cannot show any more than
They sent them 8 minutes of footage. That is insane. I could not imagine trying to chop a trailer together with just 8 minutes. That's why all that flashback stuff is in there.
Exactly. It's filler.
Yeah,
that's all I think it really
it's
is.
just filler, and it's to hit you in the feels because like they haven't shown any action.
No,
it's all feels. It's
except
all
for,
nostalgia.
Like Clint running and
we don't even know what he's running from.
right.
We don't know where he is. Clue. The hallway's blowing up. Like where are you? Like
I do think it'll revolve around him a lot more.
I'm sure it will. Like,
I like it though.
They gave him some badassery. I like Hawkeye because
they gave him the
like
shaft.
I mean like they said in the, I felt like he was expendable in the first movie, and then. In the second movie, they made him human. They explored him. They gave him some character development. And I was like,
second Avengers.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, they're gonna kill him.
Yeah.
I was like, he has a family and all this shit.
They hinted
but
at
they
the
didn't.
whole time,
I was like, they're gonna kill him. And then they killed Quicksilver, and I was like, oh, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Yeah. But hey, Avengers Endgame.
We're stoked. We'll be there.
This is between. I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Because we're both big Star Wars fans.
Mm-hmm.
Are you more excited? Oh. You already knew where I was going.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that's the consensus everywhere because Star Wars is so.
I'm already
divided now.
Well, you know what? Gosh, this is gonna be so hard because I think I'm done with the whole Luke Skywalker.
The Skywalkers,
shit.
period.
It was really fun to see like Anakin and that stuff because. I like Anakin. I like that whole. I like the prequels. I love what they did with them, and I thought they were really cool. I'm done with the whole Skywalker thing. I think 6 movies is way too much. Technically 9 if you consider.
Technically 9 because it's all about the Skywalkers.
Yeah, and I hate this. I was stoked and a little pissed off that they announced that they're working on an Old Republic TV series for Disney Plus. Yeah.
When did they announce this?
A couple days ago.
What?
Yeah.
Old Republic.
Yeah. Fuckers.
Is it are the dudes from Game of Thrones doing this?
I don't think so.
Wow.
Yeah.
They better not fuck that up.
Yeah. Oh, they will.
How? Like
I don't know.
Like it's literally just war between Sith and Jedi. Well, between the Sith Empire and the Republic, but it's war. Like this is legitimate war. Like what they did with Rogue One, but throw some lightsabers in there.
Yeah,
and that's the Old Republic, just gritty, blowing each other up and chopping people down. Like
so, if they do it right and they like make it gritty, and which they won't because it's Disney Plus and Disney's highest rating has ever been PG-13. I don't think they've ever released an R-rated movie ever, and I don't think they ever will.
Well, technically, they will now. It just won't be under the Disney brand.
How so?
Because they own Fox now.
Right.
That deal was finalized
3 days
20th,
ago now?
yeah. So
you think that
they are going to still make and distribute Fox brands, but it won't be under the Disney brand. So they're still going to make these movies and distribute them like Predator, Aliens, all those properties that are owned by Fox.
Interesting.
You just won't see the name Disney on it. It'll be under. I'm sure they'll keep the Fox brand. It'll still be 20th Century Fox, but Disney's the one that's making it and distributing it.
I haven't spent too much time thinking about it, but
yeah, I mean, it would be dumb for them to just
right. But I think their streaming service is going to be a little bit different because, like, that's solely them.
Yeah, I feel like that's the only reason why this deal, like, they wanted Fox in the first place because they needed more stuff to put on Disney Plus. And I'm like,
they own Star Wars and Marvel.
Yeah, and they're like, yeah, it'll just be under a different brand.
Right.
I'm like, so you mean Fox? It's still gonna be Fox.
Yeah.
But
it's crazy.
Yeah, but hey, Bob Iger's the man. Anyway.
Yeah.
Next trailer we got, Toy Story 4.
Oh. I'm a little mixed on this.
Yeah, like I feel like this is a very different Toy Story, and I feel like it's definitely matured. Like, it's not just the whole concept of the trailer, like Woody and Bo Peep. She's like, there's more to life than just being a toy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, once they outgrow you and stuff like that, it's not the end of the world. We're
Right.
not useless anymore. Now you can just go live your life.
Which is
And
a
I
good
felt like
message.
I felt like it was like a symbolism to like parents. Like you have your children, you raise them, you take care of them, and
that's
they
good.
go off to school. And
Yeah.
now,
You've
you
got to
can-
re-find yourself.
yeah, you're still a parent.
Right.
You still got responsibilities, but
Mhm.
now you're like, your kids are away. They're
Mhm.
starting their own lives. They're becoming adults and
Yeah, that's
members
good.
of society.
thought of
That's
that.
that's how I interpreted it, at least.
Yeah, I'm kind of 50-50. Of course I'm excited because it's Toy Story. I grew up with this.
Arguably one of the best trilogies ever made.
Right. But it's like, well, why didn't they end it with Toy Story 3? Cuz it's like this is supposedly I heard at one point it was a prequel, like it was just kind of like excuse me. It was just like an anthology thing where they didn't really have a set timeline where this takes place, but now it looks like it's set.
It's clearly after Toy Story
Yeah.
3 because Andy's gone
Right.
and all that.
Yeah, so I'm just like I don't really know why they're making this. I don't know. I will of course watch it.
Yeah, I'm
and I'll
definitely
be
gonna
there.
watch it.
Yeah.
It's definitely different. But here's the thing, though: if you're gonna make another Toy Story, I'm glad that it's different at least.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. Yeah,
But
that's
like,
true.
I'm glad it's something else.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, I haven't seen enough of it to like have an opinion on it, or
Right.
well, I have an opinion, but you get what I'm saying.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, I'll be there.
I'm open minded.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go into it and
Yeah.
take it as what it is and see if it's good.
And of course, Tom Hanks, all-time favorite actor. I love the man. I think he is one of the nicest people in the entire world. Granted, I've never met him, but
Mm-hmm.
I've seen him in interviews. I've heard people talk about him. I think he's fucking awesome.
I love Tom Hanks.
Yeah. Oh my god.
He's the man.
He's made my favorite movie of all time, Saving Private Ryan,
Mm-hmm.
and he's made some of my other favorite movies of all time, Forrest Gump, The Terminal. Just some.
You know what's
I
insane?
guess
That dude
really
won.
Steven Spielberg. then.
That dude won Best Lead Actor 2 years in a row, like back to back.
It was Philadelphia
And
Castaway, right?
No, it was Philadelphia and
Forrest
Forrest
Gump,
Gump.
you're right. Yeah,
and
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, wow. Like, can you imagine being him 2
He
years
was
in a
on
row?
Top of the
Yeah,
world.
like I would have been on fucking cloud 9
And
if I was on
everyone-
that stage 2 years in a row.
So you remember where he came from, right? You
Wasn't
probably don't.
Was it comedy?
It was
Was it
comedy.
TV?
It was TV.
It was a sitcom.
It was this little sitcom.
I don't think I've watched it.
called Bosom Buddies,
Hmm.
and oh man, that show is redonkulous.
That show is ridiculous. Yeah, like, and that's what's
fucking
crazy.
Awesome.
Like, he started out and like he was a comedian. He did sitcoms,
Mhm.
and now look at him. Like, he can do both seamlessly
Right.
in the same movie.
Right, it's fantastic, and he's done some great. He's done great dramas, great action movies, and great comedies, and
The only movie that I haven't seen,
mm-hmm.
well, I shouldn't say only, but one movie of his that I had no interest in seeing was Cloud Atlas.
Same.
Because at that point, the Wachowskis were just burned out for me. Like, after the Matrix Revolutions, I was like, I don't know if these guys are good narrative storytellers.
Filmmakers,
Like,
yeah.
they're good at, like, visuals and all that. But I'm like, I don't know. Like, I had a bad taste in my
Yeah, I know
mouth.
what you're
Especially
saying.
after the last Matrix. Because I loved the Matrix.
Mm.
And I thought the Matrix 2, I was like, okay, I could have done without the weird balloon people CGI when he's fighting all those Smiths. It just looked weird.
I've never seen any of the Matrix
Oh
movies.
my God. All right. Anyway, well, in that case, this is
Yeah.
a topic for another day.
Last
But yeah.
one.
Toy Story. Amazing.
Yeah.
Aladdin.
Oh, two more. Sorry, two more.
Aladdin.
Aladdin.
What'd you think?
Aladdin. I think it definitely redeemed itself
Mhm.
from like the first trailer. I still think the genie looks a little fucking weird.
Yeah.
But like, also I heard a lot of people complaining that like, why is Will Smith human for a good portion of this trailer? Like, well, the genie turned. Even though I've only seen bits and pieces of Aladdin, when I was a lot younger, I do remember the genie was human in a couple of the scenes.
Yeah, when he's
he
coming
had
through
to
like
be.
Prince
Yeah.
Ali.
Right.
Yeah.
So, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Fuck off. I think that
Plus,
they're just like.
I don't see why a giant floating blue genie floating around, why people would just be like, oh, hey,
That's normal.
what's your name?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, but anyway. There's a few, like, I still think it looks too clean cut. It looks like a Hallmark movie as far as, like, how it looks and how it's shot and how it's lit. I'm just like, it looks, I think Jafar is, like, so strange. Bring me the lamp.
I've
Like, he
only
doesn't
seen it
sound
once.
intimidating to me at all. He doesn't seem intimidating to me. Like, the cartoon Jafar is like super skinny and everything, but like his voice is menacing, and just his demeanor and how he carries himself, he's very sinister. Granted, we haven't seen much of him in the trailer, but he literally says, "Bring me the lamp." like that doesn't scare me. Like, and like I don't know, man. Like he looks like an Abercrombie and Fitch model. Like he looks like just a pretty good looking man. Like
I have heard that people are like, "Why
like,
is he way too attractive?"
Yeah, he looks like he's doing well in life. And
Right.
I don't know.
He probably is.
Those are small nitpicky things. I liked what we saw of the genie. We saw more of Will Smith's energy and his personality and stuff.
See, I'm not too pumped for this one. I could really care less because I'm not the biggest.
Some of these live action Disney movies, I'm just
money. That's all.
Like
just selling.
Don't get me wrong. Like I grew up watching them like everybody else.
Yeah.
But like I'm not. The only one I'm super excited about is the Lion King because that's my favorite. Yeah. But other than that, I'm just like I have and still don't have. Well, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I have no interest in seeing Dumbo at all.
Oh, Dumbo.
The trailers look good, but I'm just like I don't even think I've seen Dumbo, like the original Dumbo. Couldn't tell you anything about it. Yeah, all I know is that he's a sad elephant that flies.
He flies.
That's all I know. Like all of these Disney movies are the same.
They're just crows.
They're orphans and their families get killed and they're alone and they're sad, and then somebody comes along and goes, hey, you're special because of something.
Pinocchio.
Yeah, you're special because you're a fucking talking toy.
Boy. You're a real boy. So
Dumbo, you're special because you can fly. Like there's just, I'm like, okay, I get it.
All right, pump the brakes.
Yeah, apparently they're making a Hunchback of
Notre Dame.
Yeah,
seriously?
I heard a rumor of someone that's supposed to play him.
Wow.
I think it was Josh Gad. I think that's his name.
Interesting. I've never seen Hunchback, so
I think I've seen him once. But anyway, he's already got a good relationship with Disney. I mean, he was LeFou in the live action Beauty and the Beast, and he's also Olaf in Frozen.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
So yeah. Maybe he'd be all right, I think.
Yeah.
He's a very theatrical kind of actor. I think
Definitely,
he could pull that off. But yeah, Aladdin, I'll probably see it.
Right.
Because we'll probably talk about it on here.
Yeah.
So I'll see it. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. What is
last one?
I think it was John Wick.
Oh yeah.
John Wick Chapter 3. I personally love the John Wick movies. I love action movies, and I love these movies because they know exactly what they are, and they don't try to be anything else. They're just pure action movies, but like they're not throwaway action movies. And it all boils down to that first movie when his dog gets killed, and like when his puppy gets killed. I remember just me as an audience member, I was like, you better kill every single one of these motherfuckers. Like, his puppy dies, and he goes downstairs. He's like do you know, like, the premise of John Wick?
Not at all. No, I've never seen any of them.
He is a retired hitman.
Okay.
He was, like, the best hitman.
Okay. Oh, they call him, like...
Baba Yaga.
Baba Yaga, which is, like, Boogeyman? Yeah.
So, he was the world's best hitman, and he retired because he fell in love and he got married. And his wife dies of cancer.
Oh.
And her last gift to him was this puppy.
Oh, that's nice.
And these dudes like fuck with him. They're like, ooh, we like your car, because he's got like this sweet Mustang or whatever it is. And they're like, we like your car. And he's like, no, it's not for sale. So they follow him home. They beat the shit out of him. They kill his puppy and they take his car. And he goes downstairs with his sledgehammer and he just rips up the basement, like the floor to his basement. It's like concrete. He's got all these fucking guns and all this shit. And like he's out of retirement. And it's a really cool world, man. They got like this hotel. It's the Continental. It's in New York. It's where other hitmen go to stay. There's rules there. They're not allowed to kill anybody there. Blah, blah, blah. Like, everyone, like, it's this whole world. You got, like, these gold tokens, and you pay for things in this underground world. You got, like, cleanup crews that'll come up and get rid of the bodies and clean your place. And you pay them with these gold coins and stuff. Yeah, it's a really cool world that they set up. And, I'm excited. This is the third. They say this is going to be the last one.
Okay.
Because I don't think they expected. Like, when I saw the trailers for John Wick, I was like, okay, it's Keanu Reeves trying to make a comeback. But I don't think anyone was prepared for, not even them, for, like, how much it blew up and how much people liked it.
Keanu Reeves like, is awesome.
Yeah, I love Keanu Reeves.
And plus, he's just genuinely a nice person.
Yeah,
so
like...
He gives, like, 90% of his funds away to charities.
I saw something. I was listening to something, and it said that he gave, like, for his check for The Matrix, he gave over 50% of his check to the makeup and visual effects crew.
Wow.
Because he said like they did more than he did. Yeah. And I was like,
which a lot of the times that's the case, unless you're like an actor who's also a producer or directing it or something.
I think they said that he bought them all like Harley Davidsons. Like he gave each of them like a Harley.
That's badass.
Because like he owns some motorcycle company or something like that. And I'm like, that's so sweet, man, to see people.
Yeah.
Like I remember when Christian Bale for Vice, they won Best Makeup and something like that. And he stood up and gave them a round of applause and stuff like that. I was like, it's really cool to see actors do stuff like that, or people, because like,
see, in that movie, like that's kind of your entire movie.
Yeah, like that's your performance. Like without that, your performance would not be the same.
You would not look like Dick
It's
Cheney.
all transformation.
Yeah,
and that's why I appreciated that. I was like, he acknowledges that, and because it might be hard to believe, but it might not. But that's not very common.
For sure. Yeah.
Not at all. And I was like, oh, that's really cool.
Or it might be, and we just don't see it. But you know, who's to say? We're not really. We're not there at all.
Who are we? We're just two schmucks. I don't even really know the exact definition of that. I know it's an insult.
Yeah.
Anyway, those are the trailers. Those are the news.
Sorry, little bonus real quick. I only want to talk about it for like just a minute. But like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Oh my God.
I showed that trailer to some friends last night.
Yeah.
And I loved I love the scene with Bruce Lee. He's like, he said, my hands are lethal weapons. So if we get in a fight and I accidentally kill you, I go to jail. He's like, you get in a fight with anybody and you accidentally kill him, you go to jail. It's called manslaughter. I love that. I love that. And the little girl at the end, she's like, that was the best acting I've ever seen in my life. Thank you. He starts crying. Cool. Oh, like, I don't know. There's just something about
that is
Tarantino.
Just 100% an homage to everyone. Be like, you didn't give this man an Oscar. Fuck you. He's like the best actor ever.
I love that, man. Like,
we've talked about it a lot.
I love Tarantino.
Fans,
yeah, I love him. I love him to death.
I will be there.
Say what you will about him. Like,
he's fucking.
Don't get me
insane.
wrong. His movies always have like a Tarantino feel to them. They all feel the same, but different themes and different like. I feel like it's all the same genre, but like different themes.
Right.
But
this one doesn't seem to be too violent like his others. It seems to be more story driven.
The guy playing Manson is from one of my favorite TV shows ever, Justified. He plays Dewey Crow. Yeah, he's in the trailer. He's got the long hair and the beard, and he's like, yeah, he's supposed to be.
In the trailer?
He's Manson. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yes.
Oh
man, when I saw that, I was like, fucking Dewey Crow. I don't know his name, his real name, but I was like, he'll forever be Dewey Crow to me.
That's awesome.
I was like, oh man, because Tarantino took Walton Goggins from Justified and put him in. I was like, I love this, and I love Walton Goggins.
Oh yeah, he's so good, and
he's good in everything that he's in. So Once Upon a Time in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I'm super excited for
I'm
this
just
movie.
hoping the Beach Boys make a cameo, because I don't know if you know this, but like Beach Boys and Marilyn Manson and Manson were like, they were like connected, man. Like they hung out. Do you know who the Beach Boys are? Yeah. They like
I've seen Rush Hour.
Spent a lot of time together, and fucking crazy. I think his name was Billy or something. The lead writer for the Beach Boys, like their interactions and everything were like very like a lot of their success kind of was owed to Manson, because like they all did drugs together, did some crazy shit, and then he lost his fucking marbles, and I'm super excited. I hope they're gonna be in it, because I love the Beach Boys.
The whole Manson thing is crazy. I mean, I don't know all the details, but it's just fucking crazy.
Oh yeah, fuck that guy.
A friend of mine, he said his dad was a cop during that time. Anytime he saw anything about Manson on the news or in the papers or anything,
he knew it was bad.
Would put it away, because he was completely disgusted, and he was just like, I cannot believe this.
The guy was the biggest piece of trash. Well, not the biggest, but like, you know, he's up there with Hitler. Yeah,
he's up there. He's one of them.
Fucking batshit insane. Also, just terrifying. If you've ever seen like, there's a good, he went to jail back in like the 70s, I think. And then he stayed there the rest of his life, and every X amount of years he was up for parole, and every time he knew he wasn't going to get it, so he goes in the courtroom and he just like says one message, and it's terrifying. Go watch, just do a little Google search for this guy in the courtroom, and he's terrifying. Fuck that guy. Glad he's dead. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood looks
Boom.
good.
Yeah. All right.
Now
So-
for the big stuff.
We're in the meat and potatoes. This week, we're talking about Us.
Oh, so good.
That being said, I really liked this movie.
Yeah.
I saw it with my girlfriend. She did not feel as strongly as I did. She didn't think the movie was bad, but there was definitely parts of the movie that she didn't understand and didn't really resonate with. And we'll talk about some of that stuff here. But
Yeah. I've got a lot of notes.
okay.
Yeah, I thought it was good. It was the
Um,
first. Well, I guess I shouldn't say first. Well, maybe it was. It was the first Jordan Peele movie that I've ever seen that I know of, because him and is it Keegan?
Michael Key.
Yeah, him and Keegan came out with one a few years ago where it was kind of a goofy comedy.
Mhm.
But
Oh,
kind of
Keanu?
like- yeah. That was a good one.
Did he direct that?
I don't know. That's why I'm hesitant to say.
I don't
it
think he
was-
did.
Yeah, I don't think he did either. But this was a good one.
I know that you said you did not see Get Out.
I did not. I want to now though, because
I will say, without giving anything away, I feel like Get Out is more of the social themes of Get Out hit harder and are more clear than Us.
okay,
They're definitely more on the surface. You don't need to dissect it as much and really think. It's clear, it's cut. Like you know what's going on. Like, oh, okay. But with Us, there are definitely more undertones and more things that you need to pay attention to and kind of interpret. And I feel like this movie is a type of movie that you need to watch more than once
yeah,
in
I agree
reference
with
to
that.
Us. Like,
yeah,
because there are definitely knowing from when the movie starts to when it ends, you're just like, and I feel like watching it a second time, it'll be even more clear. Like you'll pick up on several other things and you're just like, makes
sure,
sense.
I could see
Like,
that. Yeah,
yeah. So you want to give like a summary of the movie?
So the movie is about, without really trying to ruin anything, the movie is about, follows this family. It's kind of a typical, horror film.
Yeah, family
plot,
vacation. They're going
goes
to the beach.
awry.
Yeah.
And then, something's not quite right. They're at their, summer home, little boy comes up and goes, "There's a family in our yard." And M'Baku, that's all I'm going to call him.
Winston
goes-
Duke. I love him. In this
He's
movie.
so good. Oh, fuck yeah, he's so good. I'm always skeptical. Sorry, quick pause. I'm always skeptical to see, actors, how they translate from, it's usually just superhero movies. Or I should say a franchise that they've only been doing for, a long time. I'm super skeptical to see how Chris Evans is going to do outside of Captain America. However, he's kind of the exception because
I
he
feel the
had
same way
done-
with Star Wars. Like when The Force Awakens came out, and I was like, okay, I like these actors. I like these
Yeah.
characters. I want to see them do other things.
Yeah.
Like John Boyega. I
I
like
haven't
him.
seen him in anything else.
I
Really.
like I've seen him in Pacific Rim, Attack
Oh,
the
yeah.
Block,
He's been doing some shit
and that's it.
movies.
Yeah, Pacific Rim was fucking trash. I watched 20 minutes of that movie and I was done.
Yeah.
But like Daisy Ridley from The Force Awakens to Murder on the Orient Express.
She was in that?
Yeah,
I never even saw that.
exactly.
Hmm.
Like
But then you've got other actors.
she didn't have much to work with, but
Yeah.
I was just like, okay. Like she didn't. I wasn't impressed by her.
Yeah.
Essentially, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But I feel like everybody else are really
Yeah,
heavy hitters.
You got Adam
And,
Driver.
yeah. Yeah. That dude had already been nominated for shit before
Right.
that movie though.
Right.
But yeah, like we were saying, you see people come out
Mhm.
their first big role is in a blockbuster franchise film,
Right.
and you're just like, okay, and then you see them do something else, and
It's always like,
yeah.
I was like-
But this was a complete 180
Right.
from M'Baku. And
yeah,
he
for
he
sure.
could really act.
Yeah.
He brought it to life. So
Yeah.
yeah, I agree with that.
So, he goes and he checks out this family, and he's like, "Hey, listen, we don't want any trouble, but if you don't leave, I'm gonna kill you guys."
Yeah.
Get
the fuck off my property.
Which we'll talk about this later. Kind of a nice little twist there. I did, I guess I'll say it now. I thought he was going to kick their ass, but I liked how he got his ass handed to him. So, stuff goes awry. They're torturing them, and clearly the big reveal is it's us. It's our other selves, and it's the whole time you're thinking like, how is this happening? Like, what the fuck is going on? So there's your story, them trying to figure out while escaping this family, and there is definitely a good part that I did not see coming, which we will talk about later. But yeah, so that's the synopsis of it. And
non-spoilery talk. I enjoyed this movie. I felt like, as far as direction goes, I feel like Jordan Peele really, like, he did Get Out. It's almost like he dipped his toe in the water with Get Out, and he ended up winning an Oscar. So with Us, he just jumped all the way into the water.
And you see that a lot with new directors, like who did Dawn of the Dead or Shaun of the Dead?
Edgar Wright.
Edgar Wright. Mm-hmm. He had done a couple of short films before then, and he was really like chumming the waters and seeing where his style was. And then like Shaun of the Dead came, super stylized. You've got Scott Pilgrim, At World's End, Hot Fuzz, all with the same kind of tone. He's found his niche and his calling, and that's what he does, and he does it very well. Same with Jordan Peele.
And it's incredible to see that most direct, like you were saying, like with Edgar Wright, for example, it takes a couple films.
Yeah.
He did it in 2.
2, yep. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. And
he's been working, although he's been in the industry for 20 plus years. I mean, he's had a show on Comedy Central that he's directed episodes there.
I know he was saying, like, with the process of getting Get Out made, he said that he got to a point where he realized the only way this movie's going to get made is if I do it myself.
Right.
And speaking of which, his production company, Monkey Paw, I love the intro.
Yeah.
Because now it's got like a little intro or whatever, and it's like the claymation.
Yeah.
And it's the Monkey Paw doing
stirring the coffee or the tea.
The tea from Get Out, and it's the exact same sound from the movie.
Oh, really?
Like, it sounds the exact same. So I love that.
That's cool.
I was like, look at him with his golden child. Get Out.
Yeah. His style is. I'm hesitant to say it's unique, in the sense because don't get me wrong, fantastic movie, great director. I love the cinematography in it. It is awesome. The shots are incredible. It felt, at least the beginning to me, it felt like The Shining. You have these really long, drawn out dolly shots where the camera is zooming back. There's a shot where it's not really a spoiler, but there's a bunny cage. It starts off on one bunny, and it keeps zooming out, and I immediately am like, wow, this was like The Shining.
Yeah,
like
he does something similar to that in Get Out, like when it starts.
Okay.
But like what you were saying with shots, there was one shot specifically that I was like, without giving anything away, it's the escalator.
Yeah.
The way it looked, the shots, the lights going up, and like those warm
really
colors.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I really appreciated it. There were a lot of warm colors in this movie.
Yeah, for sure.
As far as like
for
shots
being a
go.
Horror film.
Yeah,
the grading.
You would think it would be coolly lit, so that way it has that weird like ominous moonlight shine kind of feel on it.
Yeah.
But
it's kind of like Wes Anderson toned down a bit.
Yeah. And I really liked that. It was
very interesting.
Yeah, it fit. The
For
performances, Lupita
Holy
Nyong'o
shit.
needs to be nominated, but I'm not sure if she will, because the Academy likes to ignore genre films. Like, have you seen Hereditary?
No.
What's her name? Toni Collette, the
little
lead in
girl?
that movie.
Yeah.
No, the mom.
Oh, the mom. Okay.
She was amazing in that movie.
Okay.
Got overlooked
Nothing?
because it's a genre film, and I feel like
Yeah, I think that's unfair.
it's beginning to change.
Probably.
And Lupita might be the one to break that.
I love
but
her
like,
name, too.
as far as like performances go this year,
She's
there's five
already on the top.
nominees, I think, for Best Actress.
Hmm.
If there are 5 other performances
Like
that are
that.
better than this, or at least on the same
I've yet
level.
to see him.
I like this year. I mean, it's still pretty early in the year, but like we're gonna be. This is a great year for actresses if
Right.
that's the case.
Right.
But like if she doesn't get nominated, man, that's
Ooh, she
such a
deserves it.
snob. Like it's such a like come on, you got to get with the times, man. Like
Yeah.
because she owned that role, playing two different people. Like that. Like don't get me wrong, all the performances were great. The kids were really good.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah.
I think her daughter, the actress's name is Shadiah.
Okay. Never seen
She
her.
was great.
Yeah, she was really good. So was a little boy.
Yeah,
And
he was good too.
Yeah.
He was good too.
Yeah.
But I really felt like Lupita and the daughter and Winston Duke really. I like see like Winston Duke just felt like your typical just dad. Yeah, like and I loved that. He's like I bought a boat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just shit like that and. He's turning on tunes and he's excited. He's cracking like corny dad jokes. I loved it. I was like, in the beginning of the movie, and they're like in the car and they're on the way to the beach house or whatever. I was like, man, I wish I could just be this happy about life.
Right.
I wish I could just be this happy all the time. This cool, easygoing guy.
Singing in the car with his
like I
kids,
loved that. I loved seeing that. I was like, this is so different from M'Baku, and it was just it felt it fit.
Because like M'Baku, not a father.
Because he's a huge guy, so it'd be very
massive.
very easy for him to just be just this essentially what his doppelganger was.
Right. Yeah. Which that's one of my notes is like his doppelganger feels like M'Baku,
Just a
but
brute.
you know he's a big dude. That's exactly how his. Because he's nerdy and dorky and goofy, and that's exactly how his doppelganger should be. It should be strong and terrible with words as he like can't talk throughout the entire film, and
That's not to get into spoilers.
Yeah. Yeah. But I will say like I hate overused like horror film plots.
Motifs,
and this did not feel. It was very refreshing.
Like the comedy.
Yeah,
because in some horror movies, I feel like the movie stops to tell a joke,
right,
and it doesn't really fit.
But this uses what's already happening.
It's almost like it's just situational. It's just like because they have no idea how to even process what's going on, and they just say the first thing that comes to mind. And I feel like in a situation like this, as a human being, naturally you're gonna. Well, it depends on who you are, but like you're gonna deflect with comedy.
Right.
You're just going to be like, that was weird.
Yeah.
Like, especially in a situation like this. And I was like, this really fits. Like, not to spoil anything, but there's a scene with the kids and something happens and they have to go up some stairs and they kind of just look at each other like, like, I'm kind of just improvising. I have no idea what to do. And I was like, yeah, I like that. It was funny and it fit. It was appropriate. It didn't feel forced.
And they felt like a real family.
Mm-hmm.
They all felt connected. And
I loved Lupita's motherliness to her.
For sure,
like, when shit's going on, she's got both of her kids, like,
in her arms,
headlocked in her arms. And I loved that. Like, when shit was going on, she's like, come here. And she would just hold them. Because, like, I hate that in movies when, like, something's going on and they'll look at the kids and be like, run. Like, I would not tell my kids to run unless I was positive I'm gonna die. Yeah, like don't leave. Where are you going?
Right.
I don't know where. Like, you don't do that. I mean, that being said, I don't have any kids.
Yeah, I have 6, but
Ooh, big spender. But I just, I really, it felt like a real family.
Yeah,
and
for
I
sure.
really appreciated that.
Yeah. Yeah, so good.
And I loved how he took his time with the intro.
Yeah.
Because
we see whole time.
Not to, I feel like I can't say much.
Yeah, it's kind of hard.
The beginning of the movie, we follow a character through their youth, and he takes his time with all that.
Right.
And
he did it really well. That's one of my things. Is like a lot of people don't know how. Did he write this?
Mm-hmm.
He did. Okay, that's what I thought. So a lot of people don't know how to write a good script, but Jordan Peele, he knows how to write a fucking awesome script. It's well told. There's not a dull moment. The comedy is great. The action is awesome. And there are also times throughout the entire middle section of it, there is no talking.
Mm-hmm.
There's no dialogue whatsoever. And it's still so good and engaging. And one, it's due to the script and the storytelling, but it's also due because the actors are doing a fantastic job.
And like that all comes from writing.
Right.
Because an actor is only as good as their
So,
material.
material, yep.
So like, that's what I was saying to my girlfriend about Winston Duke, and she was like, it was interesting. She was just saying like his character choice is very interesting, like how he was and him as a dad. And I was like, I feel like a lot of that's from the writing too. Like, yeah, he created the character, he created the performance and everything, but it all came from the page regardless. Right. And I was like, I feel like the writing was just good enough for them to be able to hone their characters and play and find it.
Yeah.
Like, there's that scene where Lupita's staring into the window, like she's just looking outside when they're in the bedroom and she's reflecting on things.
So
you can't even see. So the camera, you see her back and you see her face in the glass, like in the window, and like I don't know why, but it felt so good. Like you got her mannerisms because you saw her from behind, but like you could still see her face in the glass. And I don't know. I really that. I don't know, just the way that he chose to shoot that instead of just doing it for, like traditionally, just a front movie. You just see her face and just see her do the scene.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed this throughout that entire scene. She's looking in the glass. Her reflection, totally black. You can't see her face whatsoever, and like you can at the beginning, and then she moves kind of like a little bit, and then her face moves into the shadows, and I think that is the point right there when the story like flips its switch. Like that's when shit hits the fans and like stuff starts to happen, because like right after that, sun comes in, there's a family in our driveway, and like, you know, half of Winston Duke's face is in the shadows and half of his face is not. They use like really good symmetry like that to tell the story, like to gear you up. Just subtle things. I love that.
It killed me that for some reason Winston Duke, like his character, all of his shorts that he wore were just very short.
Yeah,
I was like, why is this guy? I was like, what is wrong with this guy?
That's a dad though.
Yeah,
I mean, oh my gosh, my dad. Granted, like he grew up in the 60s and 70s, but like he would wear the shortest shorts, man. My God, the guy was 6'4", and whoo.
He's a lean machine.
Oh my gosh, yeah, he was super skinny, but like, yeah, he would wear shorts that like come to his mid thigh. It was just that's immediately what I thought of. Like that's such a dad thing to do. Yeah. Like those
with his bucket
ridiculous.
Hat.
Yeah. Yep. Can we talk about the music in it?
Yeah, the score.
Oh,
yeah, the score was incredible.
Damn.
To say that this is only this guy's second film being Get Out, like the composer. I don't know his name, unfortunately.
Yeah, but we can look that up.
Yeah, like I feel like the music really added something to, like it added to the tension, like any good score should.
Right.
But like with a horror movie, the score especially lets you know like the tone along with the visuals. But like when you hear it, there's certain like
Michael Abels.
Yeah. I'm gonna look him up.
Yeah, he did Get Out and Us, and Detroit, which I never.
Detroit? Ooh,
yeah.
I didn't see that either.
But he was part of the music department, so he didn't compose that one.
I forgot what I was saying.
Music, story.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever seen The Witch?
Oh, no, but I wanted to so bad because it has such a little.
I've listened to the score. I've seen it once, but like I listen to the score to that movie sometimes because it's fucking creepy, and it gives me goosebumps just hearing the music. Like you don't even have to be watching the movie. Like there's some scores that just make you feel like you're just completely immersed in it. Like you're just scared just because you hear some music and you're just like, Jesus Christ, like.
And yeah, the whole. Just so you know, we're talking about like 90% of the music in this movie is really cool choir, like belting these really, clashing notes that are so good. But then the other times he uses modern songs like the Beach Boys, and he uses NWA, one of my favorite music groups of all time.
That whole sequence is great.
Oh my gosh, it's awesome.
Yeah, I was like, NWA is
little Eazy-E. Mad respect to him. But yeah, so good. So good. The choices of music is just awesome. Yeah, it's so creepy, but then like at the same time it does a really good job of making you feel like uneasy in these moments. Just like cuz in one of the very first shots we see those rabbits and that's the first time we hear this music come in, and it's just like, whoa, what's going on? I remember, like, this is one of the only movies where I'm sitting through them, like, this is, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, because
so confusing.
Yeah,
in a good way.
Yeah, like that's like this movie, like it mind fucks you,
right?
But like,
I can only imagine that's what
you leave
satisfied.
Like. Well, I left satisfied.
Yeah.
But with Get Out, it wasn't as much of a mind fuck. I feel like it was up until the third act when you see the twist and you see what's actually going on, and it's like, oh wow, okay, and like it was a little bit more clear than this movie.
Okay.
And I feel like from just the some of the mixed things I've heard from people, the third act is where this movie starts to lose some people. Yeah, and I can understand that, but you want to just rate it and then go into spoilers?
Yeah,
there's so much I want to say.
Last thing I'll really say is, I think this goes unnoticed a lot, but like the sound design in this movie is really good. So there are times where I have some examples here. There are times where like they are, like this character is in this, before we get into our spoilers, this character is in this building and it's raining outside, and it starts to rain as soon as she walks out, and you can hear the rain and everything, and then as she walks in, you hear it because it's so quiet in this building, and you still hear the rain hitting the buildings, and like that's something so simple that people forget about, but it works so well and just adds to the suspension because you can hear her footsteps and her breathing, and then she hits a wall, and like that is really cool, and then like everything intensifies because we know where she is, even though she doesn't. But yeah, it's so good. I just wanted to give a little shout out to that. But yeah, I should say I hate horror films. I really do, but I love this film because it didn't feel like a horror film. Yeah. Just like I wouldn't rate The Shining as a horror film, and I wouldn't really like It is a horror film.
See, that's what is tricky about horror, because there's so many different subgenres. There's so many subgenres. Like, I feel like Us is it's thrilling and it's suspenseful.
Yeah, I'd say it's a suspenseful thriller.
It's got scary images, like imagery and elements to it, which makes it a horror movie.
Right.
But it's not your traditional, oh my God, I'm going to scream, like terrifying, screaming horror, like
you will
jumping.
not have nightmares from seeing this movie.
Yeah, it's not that kind of horror movie, which I feel like a lot of people were expecting.
Yeah.
And I'm not really sure why, because Get Out wasn't like that. So
I think the trailer made it to be, a lot scarier than it was, which is fine.
Which is like this movie, at some points it's a slasher film.
Right.
At some points it's like a
psychological.
Yeah, like it's many different things. At one point it's a house invasion movie.
Right.
And
yeah, but it does it really well.
Yeah, and it all bleeds together.
You think it'd be really
somehow.
Clumsy, but no, it's done really well.
Because I feel like it's because he broke it up into acts versus like each act you leave act 1, and when you walk into act 2, you're literally like following these characters because they're literally, it's almost like they're taking a road trip through this story between what kind of movie it is and what kind of messages they're telling.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. I loved it.
I gave it like, I need to see it again for sure, but just coming fresh off of it last night, I give it like a 7.5 because there are parts of it that don't make sense, but they're not supposed to make sense.
Yeah,
and I can get into that. Like, we'll get into that.
Yeah.
That being said, it's
here come the spoilers.
It's spoiler time.
So, what do we want to talk about first? My gosh, let's just say, I saw the twist coming from the very beginning of the movie. From the moment that, so our main character, as we said, the very first thing where
Lupita.
Yeah, it's her as a younger girl. Knew it was her. I think we were supposed to know it was her. She goes into this carnival fun house thing where there's a bunch of mirrors.
House
and stuff.
of Mirrors.
I knew that was going to be her doppelganger from the moment, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I bet you. But then I'm like, no, that's got to be way too obvious, right? But no, that's how they did it, and that's kind of why I was like, that's a little depressing that you could see that coming from a mile away.
Ashley's thing that she didn't like, she's like, so if the bad Lupita is really the good Lupita the whole time. Why does she want to attack the surface world? And I was like, well, here's the thing. And I'm like, when they got flip-flopped, they were like, what, like 8, I want to say?
Something like that, yeah.
I was like, she had to grow up in this world down there, and she's been molded from the age of 8.
Nature versus nurture.
Yeah, like, it's going to change you psychologically. It's
Yep.
going to change, like, especially living down there, you're eating raw rabbits and
Right.
shit. Like, that world is so crazy. And she's like, I wouldn't be like that. I was like, what? If you're an 8-year-old girl and you're fucking stuck down there, you spent majority of your life down there. Over
Right.
half of your life, you live down there. You're not going to be the same
Yeah.
at all.
Whether you know it or not, you're going to be changed.
Yeah, like, come on. I was like, let's get real.
Yeah.
But after we had that conversation, I kind of put, like, psychologically, put it into real terms. She's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But I don't, and then, so we see her choke her out, right? Like, her doppelganger chokes her out. Is that why she speaks so raspily?
Could be.
Because she got choked out?
It
Because
could
is
be.
she the only one that speaks? I can't remember if Elizabeth.
So none of the
Ross-
other characters do speak that I can think of. Yeah, none of them speak.
I don't think any of them speak.
But I don't think it's because the lack of them being able to, except for M'Baku. You know, he seemed like he couldn't speak the entire time.
None of the other guy couldn't speak either. The other couple.
But why would that? Oh gosh, you know what? That would
They
make
couldn't.
sense.
I don't remember if the wife spoke.
I don't think she did. I don't think either of them did. They didn't say a single word.
And then Lupita, she was like, they all realized that was different, and they chose her as the leader. I'm like, yeah, because you're your actual person,
Mm-hmm.
like you're real. I mean, the other ones are real too.
Yeah,
but
that whole thing didn't. I don't like when it's like unrealistic. Like obviously, there's no one in the sewers.
it's
in the underground.
more like and that's when you get into like the Twilight Zone and
Right.
like the Outer Limits type thing, where like there are some people that like their sci-fi grounded in reality, and there are other people that like their sci-fi like it's sci-fi, it's science fiction,
And I guess
and it's supposed to be
yeah.
like it
I
doesn't
like mine
need to be
grounded,
logically
yeah.
sound to fit into the real world.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, it just depends on what's your cup of tea. Like it doesn't make sense that these doppelgangers, like her children. Why do her children have doppelgangers? Because technically, if they're clones,
Mm-hmm. They
wouldn't have the exact same children
Right.
because it.
Yeah,
Just
I'm
like how
very
you can't, like, if I were to have a baby today and my baby died and I went back in time and tried to have that baby again, it wouldn't be the same
maybe
baby.
Same baby. Yeah.
Because it's not the same sperm and it's not the same egg.
Right.
So, like, it doesn't make sense that her children would have exact clones born from other clones. They wouldn't be exactly the same.
That's where I kind of got lost too.
Yeah, and
I think
so-
that whole when you throw that little aspect into the film, it gets you really got to fucking think about that shit. And I'm not saying he didn't. I just
I
don't
think
know.
he did, but
Yeah.
it's supposed to be this, like, it's supposed to be what it is. And,
Yeah.
like, I feel like a lot of that was on purpose. And if you don't buy that, that's fine. Like,
Right.
that's what I was saying to Ashley last night, because we were talking about this movie and she kept saying, she's like, well, I'm not wrong. I was like, no, I'm not saying you're wrong.
Right.
It's all about interpretation.
Yeah.
It's all subjective. The movie, it spoke to you differently, and there are different parts of it that you like and don't
Right.
like, that I like and don't like.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it's all subjective. So it's like, it's not about right or wrong. It's just how you interpret it and what you like. For me, I don't need this story to make 100%. Like, it doesn't need to be 100% logical.
Right.
Like, I get that it's supposed to be this weird sci-fi story of doppelgangers and blah, blah, blah. And it was very, like, when I was thinking about it, when they're in the room and Lupita says, who are you people? Like, who are you? And she says, we're Americans. And I was like, what?
Yeah, that was weird.
And I got it by the end.
Okay, I didn't.
Because of the shirt. So the shirt she had with the people holding hands, it said the United States of America, blah, blah, blah. So she's like, and the people holding hands were all in red, which is why she got the red jumpsuits and why they all decided, she said, we're sending a message. And that was a little on the nose for me. Like, the theme of the movie, like, we are Americans. We need to unite and hold hands and blah, blah,
Right.
blah, and blah, 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 blah. Like, I got all that. But when she said it the first, we're Americans, I was like, what? And then I saw the shirt, and I was like, oh, okay. And I saw them holding hands. I was
Mhm.
like, this is where she got that from. And then we saw the commercial in the beginning where they're like hands
Yeah,
across
and
America.
that time I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Like, what's the point of this? I literally wrote down, I'm like, I said, like, yeah, what's the point of the first commercial, the TV shot? Because, like, but then I get it. Like, if you look in the reflection of the TV as well, she's also cutting out something, but we don't know what she's cutting. She could have been cutting.
And then, like, it
paper
doesn't
mache
make
kids.
sense. So, if there's a doppelganger for every person, there are
Right.
trillions of doppelgangers.
Mm-hmm.
How did she coordinate this fucking plan? Like, how did she get all those jumpsuits?
There'd
How
have
did
to
she
be
get
at least 7 billion.
all those pairs of scissors? Everybody had a fucking pair of scissors.
Right, they were-
So, like,
She's like, it took years to prepare. Oh,
yeah,
I
that would
bet you
take
it
more
did.
than years. It would
I
take
bet-
decades.
I
Like,
bet
it would
you
take
took
a
a long
long time.
Granted, it could have been 20 years. A
But
couple
then again,
decades,
when
yeah.
you go into the grounded in reality thing,
Right.
like, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Can't be too
Some people
nitpicky.
say that's a cop out, but like with this kind of world and this kind of story, this theme that he's going for, like I was saying, like the Twilight Zone,
Mhm.
Outer Limits type thing, like Black Mirror type things where they're grounded within themselves in this story.
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't make like it wouldn't make logical sense. This couldn't really happen in this world that we live in now, but in this fictional world, in this movie, in this show, it makes sense enough
Right.
to.
Yeah, so like when I saw the trailer for this film, I did not think that they were going to. I thought it was going to be about this 4 people who are the doppelgangers terrorizing them the entire movie. It came out of completely left field when I'm like, there's everyone.
Yeah,
like when they went
yeah.
when they went to the other couple's beach house and they're like, they got fucking attacked. I'm like, what? There's more?
Yeah.
I thought it was literally going to be like their doppelgangers, our main characters' doppelgangers, killing them as well. I just thought it was going to be them terrorizing them. I'm like, fuck me. And I still didn't put 2 and 2 together. And then I'm like, fuck, this is going to turn out to be like everyone.
When that happened, there were a couple people.
Also, I
sitting
hate those 2 actresses. The twin girls, I thought they were terrible.
I think her name is Elizabeth Rose, the mom
Yeah, she's
from
good.
Handmaid's Tale. I love her.
She's great.
Yeah, she was great.
So's the dad. I like their chemistry.
Yeah, I loved the doppelganger.
Yeah,
dad.
yeah.
Like when he's on the boat and he's looking for him and he gets on it. He's
yeah.
like, I fucking love that.
I
He's
love
such a
that.
dick.
I
Yeah.
love how like she goes to grab his hand too. He goes to reach
Yeah,
down
he's-
and then he slides it through there. See, like that's little situational comedy. That's really
So
funny.
weird. Yeah.
It doesn't take you out of it because like his doppelganger would do that,
Yeah,
right?
his doppelganger was a dick.
Yeah.
There's a couple sitting a few rows down from us.
Yeah.
And when that scene happens and the friends get murdered in their
Mm-hmm.
house, all I hear is, "Whoa, what a twist!" And like, I was like, "Shut the hell up!" Like, just
What a twist!
yeah. I was like, "Watch the movie."
My gosh, I've never seen anything.
But
like
yeah,
it.
that took me by total surprise.
Yeah.
I think my eyebrows actually went up. I was like, "Ooh,
That's fun.
there's more of these fucking weird people."
And then at the very end, I'm not sure what they were trying to do with it. Like, what's going to happen now? Where you see everyone is still holding hands across America. All right, now what do? They just retreat to the subway, or what did they plan that far ahead? Or because you've got news choppers like looking at the whole
I
situation.
looked up Jeremiah 11:11.
Me too.
And it's
Do you want to say the quote, or you want me to say it? I have it written.
I don't have the exact quote.
Okay.
So here you go.
So yeah, the whole time I was like, "What the fuck does this quote have to do anything?" So Jeremiah 11:11. There are a couple of different versions of it, but for the most part, it's God saying, "I will bring on them a disaster they cannot escape. Although they cry out to me, I will not listen to them."
And he said it says something about those below wreaking havoc on those above. In
There
the
you
one
go.
that I saw,
Yeah.
so or the one that I read, and it was essentially like God saying that.
Right. So there you go. That's
Then yeah.
that's where they get. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
I mean that's essentially the whole, because like the whole time I'm like, the very start of the movie there's like, in the United States.
Yeah. With
They
the tunnels, yeah.
I'm like, okay, what the fuck does that have to do with
Yeah.
anything?
At that point, as soon as I saw that the movie started with text, I was like, I need to watch this movie. Like I was like, okay.
Blair Witch Project, I'm in.
Yeah, I was
Let's
like, okay,
go.
okay. I gotta let me pay attention. And like, I don't know. He sets the tone immediately. Like you need to pay attention to everything that's in this movie.
Right.
And
Which I like. I liked her.
And like there's small things that you need to pay attention to, because I noticed like their shirt, like when the doppelganger, like when Lupita's dad, like both of them, they gave him the shirt. Her, like Lupita underground, her shirt was all worn down and it was different, and Lupita upstairs she had like a clean cut. I don't remember what kind of shirt it was, but
it was a Thriller T-shirt,
and
Michael Jackson's Thriller.
Oh yeah, it was.
Mm-hmm.
So
great music.
And I immediately, like, this movie immediately made me think of like social class and like where you are.
Yeah.
And how I want to say opportunities, because she says she pretty much told her like, you were blessed up here.
Right.
And I was down here living the shadow of your life in all the most shitty ways. And I was like, Like immediately I was like, okay. Like two sides of the same coin type thing, and blah, blah, blah. So I immediately picked up on that theme. And the Americans thing took a while till I saw the shirt hanging up in the locker when she's in the basement. Or she's in the basement when they're in the sewers, and she's talking about when she was talking about her plan. And I was like, oh, okay. I mean, cool.
Yeah. There were a couple. So there's a couple things that, if we continue this, like, I don't get kind of stuff. It's like, one of the things I wrote down, I was like, if the people are supposed to be their shadows, like they're supposed to be their doppelgangers or opposites, do they know like everything that the other person is thinking too? Because like when she's fighting herself,
doesn't she say that? I feel like she says that at one point in the movie. She's like, they're us. They know where we're going to be.
Like,
they know how we think or something like that.
Then like, you got like, how did Winston Duke kill his doppelganger so fucking easily? He pushed him off the boat and he got chopped up in the thing. Like, wouldn't he be able to see like they're fighting in the last 10 minutes of the film, and she's dodging every blow because she knows exactly what she's going to do. So wouldn't that mean if like M'Baku's going to smash this guy in the back of the head, isn't he going to be able to turn around and go, this guy's going to smash me in the back of the head? I can turn around and catch his fist. I don't know. Again.
But the way he killed his doppelganger was very...
It was really cool.
He just smacked his face on the motor. And then
Genius.
That's what, that was very... Yeah.
Because, like, great foreshadowing. We see, like, what the fuck is, you're going to do? Because, like, yeah. It was
Ashley
cool.
actually brought up a really good point as far as, like, the rabbits. And she's like, I bet...
Still have no clue what the rabbits
She's like, I bet they gave them... Because they eat rabbits.
Right.
And she's like, I bet they gave them rabbits because rabbits multiply like crazy.
That's what I was thinking.
And I was like, yeah, because there's rabbits everywhere. They're all
Right.
in the hallways and shit. So essentially, they would have like an unlimited supply of food.
And that's what I thought too. But it's like, why didn't you also just... Why couldn't you have given them, I don't know, corn or something?
But then you can't really... Well, I mean, you can grow corn. But they wouldn't be able to do that.
Right, yeah.
The rabbits do all the work themselves.
But I think they also hint at like, didn't she say like... the government created us or something like that?
Yeah.
And then they abandoned the project. So I kind of thought like, well, 20 years ago-ish, 20 to 30 would have been like, what, the 80s? Cold War kind of thing is heating up. Could this be like a Cold War thing? Like,
the Cold War was in the 60s, wasn't it?
Well, it lasted until...
Well, yeah, okay.
It was from... Let's see, we had World War II.
But she said that the
Korean
government
War,
created these
yeah.
doppelgangers to try to control people.
All right, but what the fuck for? And does that go to say like?
But what she said was it was an experiment, and they realized, oh, they share a soul, so like we can't really influence people with this, so they just gave up on it. Yeah, and that's what she said. They're tethered because they share a soul, so like they're not.
So they also say like there's a doppelganger for like there's got to be for everyone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean? In the entire world, were they the only government? See, here's where you get to like all the questions. Like, were they the only government doing it? And then if like these people also couldn't have just been living in this one location there, right?
Well, they said the tunnels go for miles.
But they'd have to go for thousands of miles because there's roughly 360 million people living in just America alone. So that would mean you need another 360 million people living in sewers and tunnels and underground. Holy shit, that's so much. That's crazy.
And it's...
Was that you?
Yeah, I was getting... I like burped.
That's awesome. I got that.
I can't remember what else I was gonna say. Fuck.
Yeah.
I feel like the trailer kind of gave it away too that there were other doppelgangers.
Oh, really?
Because when you see the kid on the beach and you see that guy with the blood on his hands, and he's kind of standing there on the beach.
I just thought he was some crazy hobo.
He's wearing a red jumpsuit though.
No,
like
I
you can
didn't
see
see
that
it.
he has
No.
red pants and shit. But you know what else is interesting to that is they see his doppelganger dead when they go to the
Mhm.
beach and they're wheeling him out. They're like, "Is he dead?" And then when you see the doppelganger on the beach, his hands are covered in blood,
Right, yeah.
assuming he just killed
he
his
just kills
doppelganger.
other self, yeah.
And you're like, fun stuff.
Back to the writing of this, because I missed this. There's some really good lines in this where like they're in the Range Rover, bitchin' car. They're in the car, and like I'm driving. It's like, what are you talking about? I'm driving, and she's like, you're handcuffed. Dad's leg is busted up. I'm
This
doing
isn't
this,
safe, yeah.
and she's like, I have the highest kill count in the family. She's like, I killed 2, and then they go back to back. It's like, well, technically, I just killed the other, and I
Yeah.
love it because like they're still bickering like a family.
He's
It's
he's
so
like
funny.
he's like, okay, one.
Yeah.
He's like, I killed myself and I killed what's his name.
Right. It was good.
Yeah.
I love this movie. That's all my notes. I think it was awesome.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought the humor was great. The writing was pretty good. Yeah, some of the stuff doesn't make sense when you translate it to the real world, but the story's not supposed to be in the real
Right.
world.
You should try to look at it without, you
yeah.
know, because I'm the same kind of way. I like to go.
It's
into
hard to do
everything.
that though. It's hard
Yeah.
to watch a film and kind of like not turn your brain off, but make your brain think in a different way, in a different kind of reality.
Right.
Because we're so used to things being grounded here. Like that's the thing. Like this horror movie, this story, I feel like we don't get stories like this anymore where it's its own thing
Mm-hmm.
and it's take it or leave it as this.
Right.
Like it's not supposed to be real world shit. Like Get Out, even though it had a sci-fi twist, it still translated to the real world as far as issues and themes and race relations and blah blah blah. But this, yeah,
Oh, you don't hear that
is
because you don't have headphones.
it that?
It's fucking weird. It's like interference. Sorry.
Oh,
Go
okay,
on.
okay. Yeah,
One
like
second.
these.
Sorry. Go on.
That was pretty much it.
All right.
I like this movie.
Yeah, it's great.
I liked it. 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
I definitely got to see it again. I'm sure after I see it a second time, my rating will change. But as of right now, 7.5 out of 10.
It's pretty good.
All right, guys. Next week, what we got going on?
I don't know, what do we have?
DC.
DC.
We're gonna,
Shazam.
yeah,
Oh,
because
all of
Shazam
those,
comes
yeah.
out the 5th. So
Jesus.
I figured we'd do our highs and lows of the DC universe. So
Okay.
our
I've
favorite
never seen a
films.
single one aside from Suicide Squad. Technically, I've seen Man of Steel. Don't remember it whatsoever. Mentally blocked that out of my entire
Mhm.
life.
That movie's not that bad.
Oh no, I'm not saying it's bad. I
It's-
just
it's
can't
actually-
remember it whatsoever.
I like it.
All right.
I went from loving it to hating it to loving it
I
again.
gotta watch all of these again. So.
Don't bother with Suicide. I mean,
I like Suicide
oh,
Squad.
you said that's
so,
the only one you've seen.
yeah.
Oh, I wish that wasn't the case. I hate that movie.
We'll get into that.
Yeah.
Because I think we're gonna have potentially we're gonna
yeah.
have Ben back.
Ben's
on the
gonna be
show.
on. Yep. It has to be in the evening. I love how we're scheduling this right
Right,
now
yeah.
during the show. Yeah, I spoke to him last night. He said it had to be during the evening, like after 4.
Yeah, we'll make it work. Maybe we can do it on.
So yeah, we'll talk
Friday.
about the highs and lows of the DC universe, and then week after that, we're gonna go into Shazam and
Which it's been getting great reviews.
yeah, like so Warner Brothers partnered with Fandango, and they did early screenings today.
Oh
And,
really?
yeah, they did
Oh, that's
one day of
awesome.
early screenings in select theaters, and I was like, that shows a lot of confidence from Warner Bros.
Yeah,
to
for
release your
sure.
film 2 weeks early for a day.
Because then you could have people being like, "Wow,
Oh, it's
this
all
is
buzz.
terrible."
It's
and-
all
yeah,
buzz.
that's
It's
great.
all it is.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah. So yeah, we got that coming up, and then Pet Cemetery comes out the same weekend as Shazam, and I figured we'd do the same with the DC movies, with the Stephen King movies. We picked our highs and lows of Stephen King adaptations, and
Yeah.
from what I'm hearing, Pet Cemetery is like the best Stephen
Yeah,
King
yeah.
adaptation.
For sure.
So that's interesting.
Got a great cast. So excited
yeah.
for that one.
Got some hot stuff coming at you. You guys can check us out on Instagram Well, yeah.
Yeah,
You can
could-
follow us on
you can follow
Instagram, Twitter. I don't know if we have a Facebook. Do we have a Facebook?
We have Facebook. I don't think we have a
Facebook.
Twitter. So
Just kidding.
Facebook, Instagram.
Hopefully by the time realistically, by the time you listen to this, we will have a Twitter made by then.
And then you can listen to us on Spotify,
Mm-hmm.
YouTube, Google Music, iTunes. We're everywhere.
Yeah.
So tell your friends.
Yeah, tell your friends. If you like it, like and subscribe, guys. Comment. That helps the channel
For
a lot.
sure.
It helps us get
Tell
a
us what
little
you
bit
like. Tell us what you don't
of
like.
traction. Yeah. If you don't like it, tell us what you don't like.
Right.
And make sure you subscribe.
Yeah, for sure.
So, thanks. Take care. Adios.
Bye-bye.